Hello, listeners, and welcome to the Downright Upright Show. My name is Philip Anthony. I will be your host, along with my two co hosts, Austin Ballhagen and Matt Amundson. Now, the song that
Hello.
came in on the bumper music, you guys, that's Felipe Rose. And do you know who Felipe Rose is?
I do because you told me, and you know what? That song rocked.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's such a party song.
Yes.
It's the name of the song is called "That's What You Are" by Felipe Rose, and Felipe Rose was a member. Listen to this, you guys, of the Village People, the original Village People.
Ever heard of him?
He was the Indian.
Yeah.
He had the Indian headdress. Amazing, good-looking guy too. Well, he agreed to do my show, so in the future, listen for Felipe Rose as one of my guests on my show.
I'm so excited.
Oh
For
my
that.
God, all my friends are here. I'm so intimidated. Anyway,
So popular.
thank you all for joining us today. I hope you're all feeling what?
Fantabulous.
Yes, fantabulous is fantastic. And fabulous.
Twice as nice.
And it's put together twice as nice, yes. So happy Pride to everybody today. You all look amazing. I love your outfits. Everybody looks like, you know, ready to party. It's festival time. Um, we're here to celebrate in person today. This is a live show, right, you guys?
Yeah.
Have you ever done a live show before? Either of you? I don't
I don't
remember.
think
Golden
so.
Valley Pride, but that was
That was.
at Golden Valley
It was.
Pride.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
recorded.
that's
Yeah,
right.
it
Yeah,
was
we did
recorded.
Golden Valley
So no
Pride.
swearing. We had to be really careful swearing.
Semi-live.
Semi-live.
I can say poopy pants.
No, you can't. Canceled.
Why poopy pants? I can say poopy pants.
Okay, well, now
Anyway.
stop saying it. You might turn people away from the
Well,
show.
before we start the show, I just want to say Pride to me, and I'm going to ask my co-host also. You know, before I even say what I think, RuPaul always says at the end of a show, he goes, "If you can't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else?" And can I get an amen in here, right?
Amen.
So, amen, everybody. Say amen.
Amen.
Okay. Well, to me, pride is authenticity. It's about being yourself, living in your own skin, and being comfortable for who you are. And what do you guys think about pride?
Oh, I love authenticity. That was a great word.
Yeah, I love that word.
I think I can think of some other A words like appreciation,
Oh, you
acceptance. No. Good ones.
There is another A word, but that's
Yeah, not that
Not
we'll,
that
we'll
one.
get to that later when we talk about the news. But no, there's so much good and wonder and joy and happiness. I love being here at Loring Park today. This has been such a wonderful day. People are just the happiest, and I love seeing that. So pride, I think, is just like the sense of community and comfort, love,
yeah, absolutely.
appreciation.
What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I mean, Pride is such a fantastic event, and it's a time when we can come together to celebrate. It's also a time when we can come together to reflect,
Yes.
and come together to instigate change. I love Pride, and to me, I think the best thing that I can do to sum up this month and this sense of community is the concept of IDIC. And I know I'm going to out myself as a nerd, but infinite diversity and infinite combinations being the most beautiful thing, and that is on display at Pride every year.
Oh wow, you
Love
just
that.
taught me. What's the acronym again?
IDIC, infinite diversity
Oh,
and infinite combination.
Did you know that?
No, I like that one.
We're learning today.
Yeah, I love learning.
Pride is even a learning
Yes.
experience.
It
And you
really
know-
is. It is.
What do you guys think of some of the outfits people are wearing?
Honestly, I love it. That's where some learning comes from
Yes.
too. I think just seeing how people just feel on the inside and how they express that on the outside, I think is just beautiful. The amount of people today that I saw was like, "I love your shirt, I love your nails," because the people just are just like expressing themselves in ways that are so beautiful and authentic, and I just really love that. I kind of blew up a little bit rainbowy today, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
I like being so bright and fun, and
I-
you have such a bright, beautiful shirt today too. Austin, you look amazing.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah.
we all look amazing.
Yeah,
And I got this from one of my dear friends. Got me this bracelet.
yeah, it's so cute.
It's so
Awesome.
cute. It's amazing. So before we go into like some of the downright part,
Ugh.
the negative parts, I always like to talk about happy things like music. Like what music inspires you for Pride? Now I played the Village People, and I think we're going to close the show with another Village People song. But the one that really hits home is "I Am What I Am," and what I am, I'll be. You know. So what are some of the songs that you guys like to listen to during Pride that inspire you, Austin?
For me, the one of my go-to Pride happy songs is so It was originally recorded by Baccarat back in the day, re-recorded by the Fratellis. They're a Scottish rock band. Yes, Sir, I Can Boogie. Like, to me, that's my pride jam that I go to.
Yes, sir. I can boogie that one.
Yes, but I
But
need a
I
certain,
need a little something.
but I need a certain song.
Oh, it's so,
It's-
yeah. I only know the Baccarat version of that because And Matt,
I mean, I guess I can think of so many songs, but one that always gets me moving and happy and jolly is "I Don't Feel Like Dancing" by Scissor Sisters.
Oh my god!
I know.
Yes.
You can't listen to that song and not dance. Period.
Yes.
Even like
So
driving,
good.
I'm dancing when I'm driving when that song is on. But
boy,
it's so like the lyrics say, "I don't feel like dancing," and yet it's the most danceable song ever. It's just like it's almost like to me, it's almost like finding the sense of joy and embracing even just like in the most negative maybe of headspaces. You still just like you lean in on the good parts of life, and I think that's beautiful.
I
Yeah.
just introduced Chloe to that song like 2 weeks ago.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
really.
Thank you, Scissor Sisters.
yeah. it's
Thank
so
you to
good.
the Scissor Sisters. If you want to come on the show, just
Oh my gosh, call
let me
Jake
know.
Shears.
Oh my God, there's my friends out there. Oh my God, this is live. So I have to stop the show for my friends. Oh my God, you're all here to come see me? Really? Did you want to say something really quick on the microphone? Nothing?
No pressure.
Oh my God.
Oh, I
Well,
like that phone case. That's fun.
oh my God.
What a sparkly phone
Ooh.
case.
Look
Yeah.
at Maddie's. His name's Matt too. My co-host name's Matt.
Hello. So many Matts
You got
out here.
something in common.
Yeah. There are
Yeah.
a lot of Matts here.
A lot of Matts.
I met
Well,
another Matt.
A lot of welcome Matts. Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway,
Don't walk all over me though.
so that's another thing I wanted to reach out to my audience here. We have a free mic here,
Oh.
and if you have a question you want to ask at any time, raise your hand. We'll stop the show, and it's tracks for you because this is about pride, it's about you. We want to hear what you have to say. I have some merch today, actually. I do, and I have it in my bag here, and I'm going to hand it out right now. If I can get it. Can you get it for me, Austin? Am I sitting on it? Okay. I'm very crafty. I don't know if I told you that. I'm very crafty. I made
Oh, whoa, look at that.
little downright upright show bags. Yes.
Nice.
If you would like one, please raise your hand and I'm going to pass it to you. Oh, I knew. All my dear friends are here. Come up, honey. I want to give this
Come
to you.
on down.
Yeah,
You get a bag. You get a bag.
Do I get it to kiss you? Okay. Can you lean over?
I'm a downright upright
Okay.
swag. That looks great.
Yeah, no kidding.
My friend Jared, I love him so much. He's amazing. Anybody else want a downright upright show? Oh, Terry, my friend Terry's here. Terry, Terry is actually a listen. You're a listener, right?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
He even said that to me. He says the rest of the month, it's okay, but when the co-hosts are on, that's the best. That's
Oh,
the best
that's
show.
nice.
You want one too? How are you feeling? I heard you had a little problem. Okay.
Oh no, we're talking for those of you who are listening and have no idea what we're talking about. There's a person here in a sling, an arm sling. That does not look fun. Oh, be careful with your scooters.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
I rode one downtown today,
that's my friend Bryce.
northeast,
His
and it
name's
was a little
Bryce.
scary. People are
He's in a sling.
All over
in
the
case you
place.
can't see him on camera, but he is looking happy. So I'm really thrilled.
An important distinction.
Maddie,
at
do you
this
want one
event.
too? Okay. We're giving them all away. I got a ton of them. I really do. You're welcome,
I
man.
love those.
You can remember me. Anybody in the audience want one here? Not even my husband?
I mean, he can get that at home. He's fine.
Oh, Steve wants one. Okay. Now, Steve is one of my dearest friends. We were roommates together. Here you go, Steve.
Steve, if you want to talk in the microphone and tell stories about your roommate,
I was just
times
gonna
with
say they were
Philip,
roommates.
that would be wonderful.
That's going to be scandalous. It's a scandal.
All right, get the bleep button ready.
Anybody else here want one before we continue here? No.
I mean, I'm definitely snagging one before I leave today. I'll tell
Well,
you that.
I'm going to give Bakken and Brett a bag as well. I'm sure they want one. Aren't you like lining up for one at this point? Okay, good.
Like salivating over
Not
bags.
ready to turn the
Salivating.
table down.
All right, so let's talk about. I don't want to bring everybody down,
Oh, here we go.
but we have to do this because the elephant in the room, guys, is what? The debate,
Yeah.
right? Does everybody look? Everybody looks sad. I know I'm sad, but It was really sad. But in my opinion, you have two choices. It's a binary decision. You have the old man who is, a few steps behind, okay, but he's very kind and he's working for the people. Then you have somebody else who, what do we call this person on the show, guys?
He who shall not be
Voldemort.
named.
Somebody
Yeah,
said-
he who shall
Oh
not
Oh
be
my God,
named.
Terry watches the show. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, loyal listeners.
Loyal listener, Voldemort. Because we don't want to mention.
No.
If you go on TV or the radio, don't you guys get sick of hearing that name
Every day.
all the time? It's just like ad nauseum. It sounds like dump more than, I'm done, Anyway, so I feel that, okay, he had a bad night. I remember when Obama did his first debate. It was bad, his first one, right?
Was it? I don't
It
remember.
was really bad. Yeah, he didn't win. And so we have to think straight,
Yeah.
We have to think blue, right? So what do you guys think about the debate? You have any input about that?
I think what frustrates me most about the debate, and I will preface this with, Joe Biden had a rough night in terms of vocal ability and speaking, and he's an elderly man. Like, that we knew going into this. What frustrates me is it would be unthinkable to sit and watch an episode of, say, Jeopardy, and they reach Final Jeopardy, and we pass over somebody with the correctly written answer because the other guy has prettier handwriting. And
Yes.
it infuriates
Yes.
me.
Wow.
Donald Trump lied in that debate on
Constantly.
immigration, on inflation, on public safety. I mean, it's like I counted at the end of the debate, like drawing everything down to like broad categories, like 16 bald-faced lies. Not interpretation, not, oh, this is like maybe we see policy different. Absolute complete falsehoods. And that is not the story. The story is Joe Biden's voice was raspy. Seriously?
Yes.
Is she amazing?
Thank you.
Spot.
She's got it right on. And you know what? You know what he said, guys? If you didn't watch the debate, I'm going to tell you what he said. This is what made me, bring up my lunch. He said that people on the Democratic side are aborting born children. Like the baby's born and they're aborting them. Did you hear that? He said that.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, play it back. If you have a rewind button on your computer, play it back. I thought that was. Do people really think that?
Yes,
They do.
Because
They
Donald
really
Trump
do.
says it, and so therefore it is fact. Now it is out there in the world, and the fact that they're not fact checking in real time is really infuriating. Because who's going to read the fact check the next day? I am, but I don't know who else is. So here's what I wanted to share. My mom texted me during the debate. I turned it off at 8:30. I couldn't handle it anymore. The fact that I got half hour through was like 28 minutes too long, to be honest. But something I told her was, what really scares me is watching this and just hearing Donald Trump's confidence and his bravado that he had. Like, that's such a great selling point. And Biden came out raspy. He couldn't clarify his points. He stumbled quite a bit. And unfortunately, like, even though he is maybe speaking, not maybe, he is speaking fact, he is speaking more truth than Donald Trump is. People are reading just his demeanor. They're seeing the raspiness. They're seeing how tired he is. They're hearing that he just can't quite put his words together. And people are going to vote on that. They're not voting on facts. They're going to be voting on that confidence that Donald Trump is putting out there, regardless of facts that he's throwing out there. That's what really scares me.
I have a quick question for you, Matt, since you brought that up. Do you think it's more important the way you communicate or the substance of what you're communicating? Which of the two things do you look for in a candidate?
So can I throw this out? Here's why I was saying that, right? Is because I think doing the work that I do in diversity, equity, inclusion training, right? I have all these things in my head of things, like I train a lot on implicit bias. People's implicit biases are just going to come out and they're going to say, well, Joe Biden just looks old. He's probably not going to last 4 years. So I'm just going to go for Donald Trump because he looks like he can handle four more years. They're going to use biases based on behavior. They're not listening to facts. They're putting those things aside and listening to the words. They're just seeing the demeanor. And that's and I'm not saying this is an absolute truth. I'm just saying this is a thought that I have in my head that is a fear of mine. People often just roll with things like that. They're not actually paying attention to, well, what might be for the greater good? What are the things that I really care about? No, it's going to be, well, this person looks more alive than this other one, so I'm going to vote for that person.
Yeah, and low information voters, Austin, right?
Yeah.
People that don't pay attention How many of you out there pay attention on a pretty much daily basis about politics? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, really? Okay, good. That's
A
good.
good share. Yes.
Yay!
Great.
We love that. So some people don't, and they watch the debate like, and that's it, and then they'll go back to Double Jeopardy or whatever show they watch, on TV. So I say, if you don't watch a lot of politics and you just watch that debate, maybe that will sway somebody, and that's frightening to me.
Yes.
It's
Well,
frightening. To
Or just if you didn't watch the debate and all you're watching is the coverage of the debate, that's also equally terrifying.
Oh, it's yes. And this is my opinion, and you guys could chime in and tell me what you think. I thought the moderators sucked.
Yeah, they were not great.
They didn't correct anything he said.
Didn't. And I don't think that was their role. But why shouldn't it be? Because now
Yeah,
what
but
we're
it should
doing is
be.
we're allowing all this misinformation just be shoveled out at everyone watching, which is the bulk of America and the world.
Yes.
Not the bulk, but many people around the world are looking at this election as a pretty important factor
And they kept
and
asking,
believing these lies as truths.
yeah, they kept asking him, was the election stolen? Will you agree that to concede if you lose, right? And it took him like almost the whole.
Well, he never actually directly answered that question.
Right.
He always reverts back to if it's a fair and free election. And in saying that and prefacing that, it's implying that it's not going to be. Like, that's the...
Unless he
won't-
wins.
Unless he wins, right? Yeah.
How funny is that?
All right. Well, I have another thing here on the copy. This bothered me, and I think most of you out there are in the community, whether you're gay, trans, ally, even. I'm sure that would, you be very angry when I start reading this. By the way, I hosted Matt McNeil show last week for 2 days. Did you know that? Which is amazing.
You did great.
Oh, did you listen?
I was able to listen on the second day, but I didn't
Me
have a chance to
too.
call
And
in,
the
but you
biggest
did great.
compliment was when Brett Johnson, who's been doing shows for years, told me I did a good job. So thanks again, Brett, for that. You gave me a lot of encouragement. But I hosted the show, and I talked about. Does everybody know who Martha Ann Alito is? Raise your hand if you know who that woman is.
I don't think I do.
Oh, there's
Sadly.
one person that knows who she is. Okay. Well, I'll make it more familiar to you. Martha Ann Alito is Justice Alito's wife.
Oh.
You got it now?
Yeah.
And she's upset because after the election, the 2020 election, she hung a flag upside down, which was a Stop the Steal flag in protest of the election. And she made a comment privately to some person that was interviewing her at an event. And she said, I'm sick of looking over the lagoon at the pride flag every year. So I'm sick of that. That upsets me. Okay, an inclusive flag, you guys. The
Mhm.
pride flag includes everybody here, whether you're straight,
Including
gay,
her.
Including her.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that?
I think the funniest thing so for those that don't know, she was interviewed by a documentary filmmaker that basically goes in and kind of poses as a young right
Yeah,
wing
she's
woman
undercover, yeah.
and gets these interviews and she wasn't like deceiving anybody. I mean, they were straightforward questions, and I think the funniest thing to me was to hear Samuel Alito's wife basically say, "I can't wait till he's done with his silly little Supreme Court job so I can start making flags to like hang to anger the queer community."
Wow.
That was just such a weird, like, your husband sits on the Supreme Court and you're like, oh, his silly little job. Like, I don't know.
What is she, the Betsy Ross from hell? I mean,
Kind of.
really? Flags. Oh, like this is your thing,
That's, I guess, her hobby is
Oh my
thinking
God.
up new
Well,
flags.
I'm going to read the quote because I didn't memorize it, so forgive me. I'm going to have to read it. She said, "I want a Sacred Heart of Jesus flag because I have to look across the lagoon at the pride flag for the next month." And then she said that when her husband retires, she will start hanging flags again. But until that moment, she will not because she's getting a lot of flack. So just remember, guys, the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court, they're going to do a lot of stuff with LGBTQ rights.
Well, they're going to do a stuff
trust-
against LGBTQ rights.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I meant. she's apparently doesn't like us. She says she can't stand looking over the lagoon at us. So that upset me. So now I want to talk about. Oh, maybe Austin could bring this up because this is something. Okay, so if you haven't heard my show before, Matt is so adept in DEI, which is diversity, equity, inclusion, and my friend here, Austin, she is the Minnesota state politics guru.
Thank you.
No, you are, honey. I mean, so tell me if you heard this, and then you can please elaborate. Minnesota Republican Senate candidate Royce White. You know who he is?
Yes, unfortunately.
Does anybody know who he is, Royce White? Oh, bye. They're leaving. I love you guys. Happy Pride. Bye, Bryce. Emilio is even here. I love Emilio. I don't
love
even know
the
you,
shirt.
but we'll get together one day. Okay, you guys.
Yeah, also a fun shirt.
Aren't they amazing?
Okay, so this list of politicians you're coming up with today here are really, I think they're starting to impress Austin a little bit.
Well,
Donald
Austin
Trump.
knows these people. So,
And I'm already dead inside, so that's a new level.
well, he's running against Senator Amy Klobuchar,
Okay.
and in this November's election, he posted an anti-LGBT content on his social media for a while, actually. Do you think Minnesotans will stand for such hate that's spewing out of his mouth?
I don't. He doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. He's
That's a good way to put it.
GOP sacrificial lamb, and we were joking about greatest hits earlier. Roy Weiss has a hilarious track record of greatest hits. Women are quote too mouthy.
What?
Yep, spending campaign funds at a strip club. I mean,
wow.
he is a hot mess of a candidate.
So is Donald Trump, but he's going to
Yeah.
be president again. So
But Donald Trump's not running against Amy Klobuchar.
I don't want to say it. I
You
believe
really
it.
think that?
Yes.
Do you guys think that out there? Do you think that he's really going to win? A
Here's the
criminal?
thing.
34
Yes,
times
and
convicted?
I don't want to be a stick in the mud. I don't want to be a cynic. I don't want to be that person. I just believe that Donald Trump is going to be president again. And it makes me
It's
very
a
scared
real
and very sad.
possibility.
I'm worried that this is our last Pride.
Okay, I have a scenario. Tell me what you think, because we got to go back to Voldemort again, I guess. What do you
Sorry.
guys think about Biden releasing his delegates? Releasing his delegates, and you know what that means. In other words, we don't have a regular democracy where the most votes wins. We have an electoral college, and the delegates vote, right?
It won't
So
happen.
if Biden releases his delegates, that means at the convention they can nominate somebody else, and it could be Gavin Newsom, who is like the Donald Trump of the left.
Yeah.
He's nasty.
He'll scare too many people.
He could rip Donald Trump's patootie open.
I think he'll scare too many
And
people.
Gavin Newsom hasn't raised a single dollar he can use to run for president.
Well, he doesn't
Not
want
a good start when we were 4 months away from the election.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think
that's the thing. I like. Yes, theoretically, could Joe Biden release his delegates? Yes, in theory, but there is no alternative to step forward that has raised anywhere near the amount of money needed to run for president.
again, you're going to help me with this because I don't know what happens in that case. Let's say he does release them, releases delegates, and they choose another person. Do the coffers from his original
No.
campaign move?
There's some money that campaigns can transfer, and I am not an expert on campaign finance, but there are limits on what they can transfer. So it's not like, hey, here's all my money and here's all my delegates. It's capped, and I think it's like $10,000. It's not a lot of money that you can transfer. So
What are the chances you think he's going to, release his delegates?
I don't think it'll happen. I think Joe Biden is our nominee, and he was chosen through a primary process in which people could have run. We saw Dean Phillips ran. There were other candidates that made noise early in the race and did not step forward to run. The time and the place for somebody, if they wanted to step forward and run or emerge as an alternative, has, I think, passed at this point, and our choice is Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
Now, you seem very adamant about what you just said.
There's such a
just trying to-
fervor with Donald Trump.
What was that?
There's such a fervor over Donald Trump. People just love and admire him, and they don't want Biden.
Well, they have paraphernalia.
Yeah.
You know, they wear his hat,
They buy his Bibles
his
and his
Bibles,
shoes.
his shoes, his whatever
Vodka, his
whatever,
steaks.
yeah, his whatever he
social
sells.
media account.
And nobody really walks around with Biden flags.
No one's.
Biden. I don't know.
Not a lot of
I mean, 'cause
proud
there's
Biden
not
fans.
enough fervor. You know, I remember when President Obama ran for president, he was like lighting the world on fire. Everybody wore Obama shirts, you know.
But he also
And-
came out kind of out in like maybe what 7-8 months before the election that year. Like all of a sudden, Obama kind of came out, and you're like, oh, this guy is running for president. He kind of became a big thing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
it was earlier than that, but yeah, it definitely like peaked.
His peak, he like all of a sudden blew up, and he was everywhere.
Yeah.
Wasn't he
It was
inspired?
like, this is the guy, and then there was like this fervor that kind of like surrounded him around that, which I thought was beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, he was still a somebody before that. I'm not saying he was nobody, and like where did this guy come from? But his celebrity just skyrocketed, and that just went all the way through the election, which was wonderful.
He was so inspiring, though.
The Donald Trump celebrity has just
When he went
It's
on
been constant
stage,
for how
right,
many years?
Matthew?
Yeah.
He would go on stage and talk, and people were screaming their lungs off.
and they do for Donald
Like-
Trump.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
it seems like that's repeating with Donald Trump, with Baltimore. I
Yeah.
almost said it. I didn't say it. And that's what's worrying me.
Yeah.
But I think maybe people are more reasonable than you think.
I hope I'm wrong. Let me just clarify that. I
No,
hope
of
I'm wrong.
course, you know, but I'm hoping against hope that people will wake the hell up and vote the right way and go out and get their friends to vote and
Well, pay attention. That's
Yeah.
another thing. Like, I don't know how many people are. There are many people paying attention. There are many people who are at this point. They're over our political system. They don't like the way it's run. They don't like the way that it is. So they're not paying attention. They're not interested in voting.
Mm.
That's what's tough. We need to get people to be interested in politics and interested in a president.
Well, and we are seeing, at least in states where we've had primaries thus far, that in terms of candidates that Trump has endorsed for like down ballot races, they're not faring well,
Right.
which is a good sign.
Yes.
The problem is, you know, key swing states, we haven't had those yet. So like, we don't know how that's going to shake out in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We won't know until August.
Well, now, as Matt always likes to say, it's the name of the show is The Downright Upright.
Upright.
So that was the downright part.
So you don't have to talk about Donald Trump anymore.
I don't want to.
Me either.
I
just-
think
I
we
can't.
went ad nauseum. Oh, we have a new guest watching the show. Would you like a little?
Welcome.
Yeah, would you like a bag or something? Oh, he's good. Okay. All right. So, last month, President Biden pardoned thousands of U.S. veterans who were convicted of
Yeah.
having consensual gay sex, and while serving, obviously, in the military. An election year move that could allow veterans to recover financial benefits that had been withheld by the government. I think that was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, also,
It
right?
was from Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah. So when you were found out to be gay, you lost your benefits.
Yep.
As a veteran, which is sick to me. You know, you're fighting for your country, and then they find out you went to a gay bar, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, they have a hemorrhage about that. You know, so we have Democrats to thank for all the pro-LGBTQ legislation passed throughout our struggle, including the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell under President Obama, before the signing of President Biden's executive order in November 2019. Only Rhode Island and New York signed into law and implemented restoring military benefits to gay and lesbian military veterans. What do you guys think about that? About what President Biden just did for gay veterans?
It's incredible.
I love
and
it.
long overdue.
Yes.
What took them so long?
So long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking into the audience, and I know someone in the audience that was a veteran. And thank you for your service.
Yay.
Thank you very much for your service. He was gay, and I think if you want to talk about it, I don't want to force you.
Don't want to talk about it. Okay.
I'm
I am
sure
curious.
I'm sure you had to keep very much in the closet, right, at that time.
No, not really.
Not really. Okay.
I was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Early 80s.
Before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Okay.
So it was better before Don't Ask,
The
Don't.
military left Charleston because the Marines had the Navy moved out.
Yeah.
They closed a bunch of gay bars.
Oh.
I mean, the military pretty much supported them.
Right.
My ship was called the USS Nicholson when it was underway, and the Miss Nicholson when it was
Well,
done. But Naval Investigative Services was very actively trying to uncover us and trick us into that so they could pick us up.
all right. Well, I think this is a move that is way overdue.
Yeah.
And what do you think about it, Matt? What are your thoughts about that?
Okay, so again, not trying to be cynical.
We have a new guest. Can I just give her some merch?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're giving merch to all the guests that walk in.
You get a
So-
bag. You get a
You
bag.
get a bag, and you get a bag.
So I'm so thankful that it happened. It is long overdue. It seems, I mean, any move like that it seems like, okay, well, what's the political motivation behind this? It happened during Pride Month. It happened during an election year. There's part of me that's like, could this have happened a long time ago and they've just been waiting for now to do it? Like, let's make Biden look good now. Let's do it during a Pride Month. You know, like there's like it seems like a how perfect of a timing mood is this? Regardless, the fact that it happened is wonderful. It does make me wonder, you know, there are people who still say things like, oh, it's 2024. How do we not have 2024 is not that advanced as we like to think it is. You know, like we thought the 90s were advanced back in the 90s. Now we look back in the 90s, we're like, ugh.
Are we backsliding
Oh, boy.
in your opinion?
No, I don't think we're backsliding. I think we're still just struggling and we're still like walking through mud. And that's just the way that I think the world is and the world works. It's not easy to move through viewpoints and political choices and behaviors. You know, like that's why we see cyclical behaviors in politics. That's why we're still seeing people who are pro Donald Trump despite the laundry list of.
But do you think? Okay,
items.
maybe I should re-ask the question a different
Okay.
way, Matthew.
I went down a dark path. I'm sorry.
No. This is what I want from you. Okay, because if you know who does win, right?
Yeah.
Will there be backsliding then? Will that cause backsliding?
That's a good question. I don't know.
What do you-
I honestly
what do you
think that there
think,
will
Bob?
be. I think there will be some backslide. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure how. I'm not sure. My hope of all hopes, if that were the situation that happens, you know, like of course, like the best options we have out of there. Okay, so what else is happening in the political landscape? It's not just Donald Trump; it's his administration, right? So it's more than just the one person. But there are so many other people who are our political leaders, our political figures. We have our local leaders here in Minnesota as well that we also need to look at as being they can do a lot here in our state, you know, that can really benefit us, which is good. So I don't think that like the world is going to upend itself if Donald Trump is back in office. I think there's still enough checks and balances. Like he could have caused way more damage in his previous 4-year term than he could. He probably could have caused more, but there was enough, you know, back and forth and battling happening in Washington that allowed us to be a little bit of some balance.
But Austin,
I can only hope that happens next.
if God forbid there is a second term of you know who, won't he have people in place that he didn't have
Yes.
before? See, that was what I am
And
saying.
and it's not just people in place. There are key differences between the first term and this last term, right? So we, for part of Trump's term, retook the House. We had some more additional stopgaps in place. There are also, and this is kind of the unseen part of the way that government works, thousands and thousands of nonpartisan people in many different offices and many different departments that service everything we do and everything we use, and you know, whether it's education or VA benefits or transportation. If you're not familiar with Project 2025,
Oh God.
Google it. This is an entire plan to dismantle and politicize all of these nonpartisan
Horrifying.
people. And that would make a huge difference. And you're right in terms of just people even in the immediate administration. When the Trump administration first, like the transition period between Obama and Trump, they literally asked, like, how many of these people stay on? Like, how many of these people do we keep? You don't keep any of them. Like, you need to replace them. And they didn't understand that the first time. So there was this big scramble. Part of 2025, the Project 2025 is they have lists of people ready to go. Here are your
Oh
experts.
God, yeah.
Here's who we want to put in these positions based on different ideologies. And most recently, the SCOTUS decision that came down yesterday or late Thursday, I don't remember now, losing track of days, but regarding the Chevron case.
Oh God, yeah.
Right? Like, we're talking about literally taking power out of the hands of federal agencies that regulate our water, regulate our air
Yeah.
quality.
Get ready to drink nuclear water.
It's horrifying that
Terrible.
there were stopgaps that I don't think are going to be in place the second time around.
Yeah. Well, and then I want to finish by saying,
I thought I was being negative. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm sorry. I'm just the
kidding.
down.
No.
I got to lift the show up though.
Yeah, back to the
But I'm going to just end it by saying that in the first term, you had a lot of people in his cabinet, people, his handlers, everybody was jumping ship left and right, and they won't enjoy. Even his own vice president will not endorse him.
Yeah.
Will not refuse to. So beware. Vote. Go out. Get 17 friends to go vote with you.
Can I add a note on that too?
Yeah. Go.
So that's another thing I was thinking about just there too. Is like, okay, so if those were his first picks, and they all jump ship, who are his second, third, fourth, fifth? Who are the people that are coming in next?
I don't want to
You
know.
don't want to see the Donald Trump B team.
Yeah.
No, I don't want
Well,
to see that B team.
I think we have
That was
about
the A team.
8 minutes left, right, Mr. Producer? 18?
18 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
Get
we can
comfortable,
get
folks.
way up.
oh my God. Well, then we could talk about the Supreme Court waging wars on gender-affirming care for transgender minors by agreeing to resolve challenges to a law in Tennessee that seeks to restrict it. You heard about that one? Okay. The justices will hear a Biden administration appeal of a court ruling that upheld the measure. Oral arguments and a ruling are expected in the court's next term, which starts in October and ends in June. OMG. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah. They've taken this up. I think we all know what we can expect from that decision.
Oh God, yeah.
And
They're so transparent, Austin.
it is.
They're
really
very
is.
transparent.
And transphobic.
And transphobic.
And trans.
Absolutely.
Every trans you could think of, they are. Transphobic, transparent, homophobic. Because remember, Martha Ann gave it away. I have to look over the lagoon and see the pride flag. It really upset her.
Yeah.
So, do you want to chime in on that one?
No, I think Austin was exactly right in just saying, like, I think we know enough about the Supreme Court at this point to have an understanding as to where that's going to go, and that's really frightening. And especially thinking about being here again, like we're here at Twin Cities Pride. This is a day of celebration, a day of love and acceptance, and the people that I've gotten to see here today, just like the amount of trans acceptance and love shirts that I've seen today, that people are showcasing and exposing, and I have a friend here from out of town who's also trans, and they're having like the best day, right? Having the best time this weekend, and so happy to be in such a place of celebration. So to hear those stories like that and think, what could be next for me? What could be next for people in my circle, in my social sphere? I think we need to ensure that the voices of the people who are here, who are celebrating them, are loud and they're fervent, and that we can do our best to create that space where we can't make the Supreme Court's decisions. They get to make the choices.
That's unfortunate.
That's the hardest part. But at the same
Because he
time,
packed
we can
the court,
still do other things at a local level and an immediate level and an individual level to support people.
Yeah.
Even if the Supreme Court won't do it.
Now, speaking of the Supreme Court, you remember that when Trump was, I said his name. When he was running for president in the second term against Biden, he got to pick another Supreme Court Justice, Amy Coney Barrett.
Yeah.
With how many months before the election? A month or two?
Something like that.
But
It was pretty short.
But when President Obama had a year, 11 months to be exact, to pick the Supreme Court, it's too close to the election. We can't do that. Why are they blowing smoke in our face?
It's
and we're
hypocrisy at the
and
highest
we're
level.
taking and we're
Yeah.
taking
Oh,
it
yeah.
like stupid people. We're taking it. Why? There should have been an uproar. President Obama should have said, you know what? I'm picking this person. I am. When you go on, when you have a recess,
Was he able to?
yeah,
I thought he was blocked.
right.
Or am I wrong?
Well, Austin could correct me.
For-
The legislature,
Yes.
when they go on recess, then the president has the right, doesn't he, to pick who he wants.
Yeah, they don't really do those appointments, those recess appointments. And I think, oh my God, it's been so long since I was in a college classroom looking at this.
Yeah.
I think they have to eventually be confirmed.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I don't think you can just recess because
Greg-
right, that's
Greg
like Marbury
Crawford is
Marbury
shaking
versus
his head.
Madison.
Well,
Somebody,
we have a new
yep,
we have
okay.
a new audience member. There you go.
Go get a bag.
Do you want to say something? There's a mic here.
Happy Pride. I love being gay so much.
I love you
Thank you
being
for being
gay.
here.
I'm very happy to be gay. Thank you for coming to the show today. That's your little gift from us. Yeah. So Greg was nodding his head. So yeah, I think. Well, pick up on what you were saying before.
Oh yeah, I think they have to eventually be. I think that was the compromise in Marbury versus Madison, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so somebody can correct me, but and I actually will give Amy Coney Barrett credit because she was the main dissenting opinion on the recent
Chevron
Jan
case?
6.
Oh, the Jan 6. Okay.
She actually sided with Sotomayor and Kagan, and there have been a couple decisions now. Sorry, this term that she has sided with them,
So she has
and
redeeming qualities.
she has some redeeming qualities. Still not who I would like to see on the bench, but that was a decision that didn't get a lot of attention, but I think will in the coming weeks as we look back and reflect at this because Monday's the last day that they're going to hand down decisions. So.
Yeah. Well, remember, as Matt always says, there's a downright and the
upright.
The upright. So we need to do the upright, right?
Yes.
In the upright, we got Merrick Garland as an attorney general, who is a
yeah.
fantastic attorney general.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Imagine if we went back to Barr. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think he'd pick Barr anyway.
Oh no, he wouldn't. Not
he's
now.
already on his bad side. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't even want to think about that. I think I would probably shudder in my shoes to just think of who it would be. But so let's talk about the show's coming to a close soon. About happy things. So we have 4 hours, you guys, of LGBT programming on AM 950, starting at 2:00, right?
Yep.
Going all the way through to this wonderful show called the Downright Upright Show. And I think people that listen to our programming, if they're trans or gay and they're still closeted, it's inspiring to them. Maybe it's about time. They don't have to wait for National Coming Out Day to be authentic, right? And what are your suggestions to people out there that are listening that are struggling with their coming out process?
I guess one thing, I think that's a really good thought, Philip. I think one thing I'm thinking about, and again, maybe it's just my headspace and just being here today, is I would hope that they would show up in a space like this to recognize that they're loved, that they're seen, that they have allies, they have people who see them and accept them for who they are, even if they're not blood relatives, even if they're never going to see them again. Just to be in a space. I remember the first time I ever came here to Twin Cities Pride years and years ago. I remember being curious, prior to that, just being like, oh, I wonder what that's like, but I hadn't come out yet. I hadn't really had that self-acceptance yet, or that understanding in myself. And once I did, I was like, oh, I actually do feel a sense of being me in a very public sphere, right?
So
in a very public
can I
place.
interrupt you?
Yeah, please.
Now, when you were attending Pride, when you were in the closet, what are some of your emotions that you were feeling that?
I didn't.
Okay.
It was more like I read about the newspaper or saw in the news, and it was like watching from afar and being like, I think I just that internal like curiosity, and I think after having come here, I wish I would have come here when I was in that headspace, of that maybe that inner turmoil.
Right.
I think there was enough in the news coverage to kind of let me see like, hey, maybe that's not such a scary place after all. Maybe there are people there that will see me and accept me for who I am, in ways that I haven't quite accepted myself yet.
Yeah.
More just like allowing myself to scratch that itch, right? To bite into that curiosity a little bit. So I wish I would have done that. And at the same time, I'm not saying I regret not having done it, because once I did come here and I was out, I just felt this almost sense of relief and total comfort just being here and being like, it was just like a breath of fresh air kind of being here. And I feel that every year coming here, it just feels very comforting almost. It feels like a big family reunion being here.
It feels liberating.
It does.
Doesn't it? Like I can't say any words that are bad words. I don't want to get bleeped, but it's like F you to everybody who doesn't, accept you. That's what I feel this is. This is like, I am going to be me. Yes.
Just as much as you can be
snaps
you.
in a circle here for that one. I love it. I am so upset with people who continuously bash the community and cause people, there's a chain reaction. If you bash the community, oh, I'm so tired of seeing pride flags, and I'm so, all these negative things. There is a kid out there who is struggling
Yes.
with their identity, and you're screwing it up for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're making their life miserable, and that's what this is about. This is about F you. I mean, I am me. You don't like it, lump it. Go away. Jump in the lake. Do what you got to do. But I am going to be myself.
Yeah.
And I love that. I remember when I had to tell this really quick story. It's very, very quick. When I was in the closet, I had a girlfriend. Believe it or not, they're all laughing, but the producers are laughing too. I had a girlfriend, and she had a friend that was gay, but we didn't call it that at the time. He was different.
Light in the loafers.
Light in the loafers, yes. And he wanted to go to this club that was different in the Village, in Greenwich Village in New York City, which was the inspiration for the Pride movement.
Yeah.
Stonewall. Anyway, I stepped in this bar with my girlfriend at the time. They're all laughing. You had a girlfriend? Sometimes you have to, play along with the game, And I walked in this club, and there were all these men. They were not wearing shirts. They were beautiful, and they were dancing with each other, and that opened my eyes.
Yeah.
There's people that feel like I do.
Yeah.
Wow, really? So I snuck the next week out of. I had straight friends that I was usually hanging out with on the weekends, but I didn't do it that time. I went on the subway. Went all the way to Greenwich Village to the same bar, and I met guys, and I started coming out. It was my coming out process, and it was so amazing. It's like being in the closet, and you can't see. It's dark. You can't breathe. There's no oxygen, and then you open up the door, and like, girl, I'm out. I'm happy. I'm me. That's what it felt like, right, Austin? I mean, do you have any similar story?
Coming to Pride feels like coming home. It's a place that is so full of color and diversity and glitter. And I mean, everyone here, I've never met anyone at Pride that's been angry. I've never met anyone at Pride that's been upset. Everybody's so, I love what you're doing. I love this. I love that. Like, happy Pride. It's such a vibe. And if I feel so sad for the people that look at this event as something to hate.
Absolutely.
I like.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to infantilize them, but like, okay, you're having a big feeling. Let's step back. Maybe why are you having this feeling?
Why?
Making you so angry?
Why are you bursting my bubble?
It's not
Really?
hurting
Why?
you.
Why
it's
are you
not-
doing that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, you ever have a friend, any of you in the audience, just nod, that you're having a wonderful experience. I just got promoted, or and they turn around and they go, oh, well, I have a headache, and
The Debbie Downers. That's what you're
yes,
describing. Yes.
yeah, Debbie the Downer. Yeah. Do you have friends like that? I'm sure you do. So it's the same thing when you are proud of who you are, and you're celebrating yourself, or you're celebrating others around you, and then you have somebody that's just bursting your bubble.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
kick me off my cloud.
Yeah. Hey, you.
Come share
Off
some
of my-
space here on my cloud with me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you
know?
Exactly. There's room for everybody at Pride. Like, it's
Oh, it's very windy.
It is.
It's really windy.
So, before we close the show, I think we have 3 minutes, right? Yeah. So, do you guys want to close with some happy thoughts, so that the people out there can?
That car is not supposed to be here. Also, what a weird car.
Remember,
Yeah,
this is live,
that's odd.
folks.
It looked like a roller skate. I don't know.
Well, I like that better than having those people with the megaphones.
It looks like a roller skate.
Well, where's the lie?
What? What really upsets me when
Well done.
when you're doing a show and they have the megaphones out,
Yes.
and they're saying, "You're a sinner. You're going to hell. We hate you," and all this stuff.
Yeah, we're spreading love. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're spreading
We're the
love.
ones going to hell? I don't know
Are we
about
going
that.
to hell? Really?
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to hell, I want to be with the people that are going to hell, because they're great, much nicer people.
If y'all are going to be there, let's have fun.
Yeah,
yeah.
let's have a good time.
See you there.
Yeah. Well, you guys want to close really quick, because we're going to get the seconds clock now. We have 2 minutes.
Happy Pride. enjoy yourself. Enjoy this weekend.
Yeah, whatever
Love
that
each
looks
other.
like.
Yeah. Happy Pride. Enjoy yourself. Be yourself. That's the most important thing. And remember, I was doing the show now 2 years, and I've been told many times by a lot of people, especially trans people, that said they moved,
Yeah.
picked up their fat butts and moved to Minnesota because now they can be who they are. Amazing.
Hey, can I tell another quick story?
Yeah, go
We got
ahead.
time for this. Is a short one. So I wanted to
Yeah,
mention.
yeah.
I wanted to mention my friend Christopher, who you know.
Yeah, I love Christopher.
So he, we were hanging out at this a couple months ago. We had my special person's cabin, and Ryan, my special person, he called him out. He said, "Christopher, I really love like all the T-shirts you have. They're always Christopher always just wears like fun, like kind of like gay, pride, happy, like rainbowy type shirts. Like all of his T-shirts are like really cute, And Chris was like, well, the reason why I like to wear these shirts is because I feel like if someone sees me wearing it, they have a sense of feeling like maybe if they didn't feel a sense of, I'm not explaining myself well, if they didn't feel a sense of confidence, that maybe I can give that to them, feeling like they can be themselves. If all I'm doing is just wearing this rainbow shirt and someone sees that, they can be happy.
Yeah.
And inspire them to be themselves too. Like that's all I want. I thought that's such a beautiful reason. Just to wear the T-shirts that you wear. I think is just amazing. So I love that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, on the last minute, I just want to say, everybody that's in the audience, I love you all. You're amazing people. You make this job so fulfilling. I don't want to get emotional, but I'm so lucky to have this job, to be able to spread love. Really. I have the two most amazing people, incredible, fantabulous co-hosts in the world. I love them. They're like my blood. I mean, we're like brothers and sisters from another mother and mister, right? So for the next 20 minutes, seconds, we're going to hear the song. We're going to close out with I Am What I Am. We love you. Love you. Happy Pride.
Woo!